Namaskar. Well, what have you noticed an important change? What has happened? First of all, Pakistanis are getting beaten right, left, and center by Afghanistan. Why did our Pakistanis and Afghanistanis go bad? What happened? What did this current Shahbaz Sharif government do? There's a story to it, which we're going to talk about it. Now, after that, what we move to the China, there's an aggression which we are coming to know from China. China is trying to rename some of the provinces and trying to do an internal reorganization, which includes the part of 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏. What's happening on that? We're going to bring you up on date. From China, we move out to Iran. Iran is trying to play new games in Middle East, and Iran's foreign minister is visiting China. What are they cooking? And there's a backdrop story to it. Why this all is happening? Why the Iranis are behaving like this? Why suddenly they are becoming buddies and all these things is happening? Meanwhile, problem with Russia is that the things are not going right with them. The unfortunate accident which happened in Azerbaijan, with the Azerbaijani airliner crashed in Kazakhstan, Putin has apologized, but he has not kind of agreed it was a Russian fault. He apologized for it, for the accident. He said, Russians have been firing in that area, but he never acknowledged that it was a Russian missile. Dr. Jaishankar meets US NSA, the new NSA. And the important thing is that Donald J. Trump has something to talk about Islam, which is very clear and which talks about his thought process. You can get it in a minute. What does Donald Trump think about Islam? And what we have been talking about for months and years now, the clash of civilizations. This is what he thinks. Because you have to really wait till end for us when we're going to play that that line. And in the meanwhile, in the clip, in the meanwhile, in Israel, the things are again heating up. For the first time, THAAD batteries have intercepted a missile coming from Houthis. So THAAD had to be put in. Otherwise, the missiles were coming, right, left, and center. So what are the Houthis planning? What is the Houthi and China angle? What is the Houthi and Irani angle? Why is Wang Yi trying to meet 𝗑𝗏𝗍𝗑𝗏? Why has 𝗑𝗏𝗍𝗑𝗏 gone to China? A lot of things coming up. You have to wait and hold your horses. We'll be back in a while.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar. I have also got one update about what took place in Hague, Netherlands today vis-a-vis protest on what is happening to the Hindus of Bangladesh. We have a lot of videos. This is PGurus exclusive. We'll be bringing that to you also as part of this. First, I'd like Sumit to start the incident about Afghanistan and Pakistan. Perhaps after that, I can take my turn and then you can get back to it. Over to you, sir.
Sir, Jai Sri Ram, Radhe Radhe. In the name of Bhagavan Sri Ganesh, let's do the Sri Ganesh of today's vlog on the broadcast. Look, friends, what is happening in the world is very dramatic and the things are changing very fast. Now, we know Pakistanis went in and held in Afghanistan, Barmal district, and they ended up killing 46 innocent civilians of Afghanistan, which we have been talking about. Now, Pakistani media claims that there were 4 commanders and some 4 terrorists got killed. But Afghani says they have killed 46 innocent civilians. When it comes to Pakistan, I'm not surprised because Pakistan usually tries to attack an area, kill civilians and walk out of it and then say we have done an airstrike. That is typical Pakistan. They will not dare to touch any high-profile military target. Now, what has happened? Now, as per the reports which are coming in from official and unofficial sources, that all the arsenal of United States of America, you see, except helicopters and the flying machines, Taliban could get everything pretty much up and running. That all that arsenal, all the night vision glasses or carbines and all that which America's left behind, now that will be used against Pakistan. Now, when you think in geopolitics, why is a multi-billion-dollar arsenal left behind? There are always reasons for that. All that arsenal is being readied and it will be used against Pakistan. Afghanis have vowed retaliation, and retaliation is happening what we had been talking about. I have been talking about the first thing they will try to hit the logistical lines, whatever are remaining of these Pakistans in KPK and in Balochistan. Now, the attacks which have happened today are very targeted attacks. They are inside Pakistan. They are done by TTP. Yet, Afghani Taliban is just marching towards the border. Now, they have done they are done by this TTP, and they are again targeting whatever are the logistic chains which are still operational and working in Pakistan. Now, what happens? When these logistical chains fall, there are two main crossings or three broad, two to three broader crossings and two cants, three cants possibly, which in whole area of KPK and Balochistan, Pakistan army is controlling. The idea will be to weaken them. The idea will be to reduce this number from 6 to 5 or 4 or 3 or 2. So slowly, and then with the hammering of Afghani Taliban, make it a ground offensive, it will be much easy. Look, Afghanistan does not recognize Durian Line. And they have been very clear on that from the very beginning. Pakistan has been insisting on Durian Line. Now, Pakistan says that Afghani Taliban are harboring terrorists and militants here and they come and attack here. But Afghanistan and Pakistan forget one thing. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan was a joint venture. And secondly, this was a deal they had with the ex-chief of ISI, wherein he had agreed under Imran Khan Niazi that 8,000 fighters of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan will let them live in Waziristan, will let them live in KPK so that they can carry their activities. Now these people have become thorns in your eyes and you want to get rid of them. The thing started escalating after TTP eliminated 16 soldiers a couple of days back in Pakistan. And after the 16 soldiers were slaughtered in one day and the beheadings happening and Pakistan army losing control, Pakistani government losing control, just to get that euphoria and to get the national sentiments flared up, they started attacking Pakistan. Didn't I tell you when you will migrate when you will force Pathans to leave and go back to Afghanistan, you will have repercussions. So these are repercussions of force. These when Pathans were pushed by the Pakistan back into Afghanistan, saying you're all illegals here, you're not supposed to be here. While as if you look at the Pakistan transport industry, 80% is controlled by Pathans. If you look at the small hotels and tea stalls, 80% is controlled by Pathans. Even if you look at Karachi, 40% of the population of Karachi is Pathans. So Pathans are pretty much spread everywhere in Pakistan. Now this is a political stance which Asim Munir was trying to pull because his army was getting rattled. Now Asim Munir chose to attack a country which doesn't have an air defense, that too sending his Chinese machines in the night, because in the day maybe AK-47 could shoot them down. So that's why they went in the night to attack them. So this is what is being happening here. Now a big war is going to break up. In this war, of course you will have casualties in Afghanistan, but Afghans have vowed retaliation, and Afghans have told Pakistan, Americans came here, Russians came here, so many countries came here. Nobody could except Pakistan. Nobody could win Afghanistan except one person, Maharaja Ranjit Singh. He won Afghanistan, and one was Genghis Khan. Except these two people, there's nobody who's won Afghanistan. So let me remind them who are the two great people who have won Afghanistan. And recently it was Maharaja Ranjit Singh and Hari Singh Nalwa. Let's not forget his great 𝗟𝗟 or the great, head of his army, general. Now when these things happening, now you will have a big war braving up. Now the question is, you will be asking what went wrong. What went wrong between those allies? The thing started going wrong after Imran Khan was brought down. When Imran Khan was there, the last ISI chief went, who's currently in jail. He promised a deal with these guys. So look, this is the deal we are going to do. This is what we are going to do. In Imran, who claims a hybrid between a Pathan and a Punjabi, wanted to have strategic depth inside Pakistan, Afghanistan, wanted to have relations with Afghans, and wanted to use Afghanistan to the best interest of Pakistan. And he went to say that the shackles have been broken. But when Imran was taken and put behind the jail or behind the bars, it is believed that a good Pathan leader or a Pashtun or a Pathan was dismantled by Punjabis and put beside the bar. His wife was not treated well. They are not happy with it. And after the opium crop being dismantled by Afghanistan on the request of India or with some arrangement with India, the ISI's money-making machine, that was opium peddling and drug smuggling and all, has come to a grind. So this is the primarily reason. So there are three reasons. Imran Khan, there's one is opium crop dead, and third is that when you are not able to utilize the Afghanistan in the region you want to use them, that is where the problem started mounting. So with these problems mounting, the way ahead is not going to be good, because these people tried a lot. And even before the airstrike happened, that day, around 8 or 9 hours back, there was a Pakistani government envoy who went to Afghanistan and tried to convince them of things, but the Afghans did not agree. Now, Afghans cannot remove Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. That is what the 𝗟𝗏𝗏 Sharif has to say. 𝗟𝗏𝗏 Sharif says, my red line is get rid of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. But Mr. 𝗟𝗏𝗏 Sharif, if they get rid of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or call them back into Afghanistan, the problem is the vacuum that is created will be taken by ISIS-K, ISIS Khorasan. which are much more deadly a lot, and Afghan and Taliban are not comfortable with them, and Pakistan is not comfortable with them. Today with TTP, Afghani Taliban are very comfortable, they're a part of them, but Pakistan is not comfortable with them. And all the blast which your ISI did in those Pathan dominated areas, in the mosque where 72 people were killed, we have been telling you on PGurus, there's a retaliation which Pakistan will have to bear of it. So today, if Afghans want, they can literally cripple Karachi. They can do a blockade of Karachi. You can cripple the Pakistan's transport system. You can cripple Pakistan's hotel and small-time eateries. And there have been incidents in the Pakistan where there's a hotel called Marriott, where a truckload of boom went and the Marriott went off. So again, all the transport business is controlled by Pathans, and it's not very difficult to find that kind of ammunition in Pakistan. So things can pretty much go wrong, and you already lost KPK and Balochistan. That is what the story of this whole thing is in a nutshell. So it has been three-step failure of this government to address the issues, and then finally, when your ISI starts killing Pathans, and when your former internal minister says that Pathans are a threat to the national security, when you have more than 30 million Pathans living in Pakistan, we have been telling you, you are asking for the trouble. And your main problem is that Pathans are cozying up to India. Pathans have destroyed, Taliban in Afghanistan have destroyed the opium crop, which fuels your ISI, and they are taking help and supply from India. And the bigger your thorn in the eye is, you wanted to use them as your second fiddles. You wanted to use them as number 2 jihadis in the line. So what are these people saying? They're saying, we are looking for the collective good of the people of Afghanistan. So we don't want to be dependent on Pakistan. So your dream of having a country which is dependent on you is like beggars having a bigger beggar. At least somebody is taking alms from me. When that dream gets shattered and then Pakistan starts losing face, the only thing what happens is they will start doing war. And now the question here is that, both are Muslims. Why are they fighting? Both are Sunnis. Why are they fighting each other? Well, unfortunately, both of them are in the business of jihad. Both of them are in the business of jihad. Pakistan Army, Pakistan 𝗟𝗡𝗏, 𝗪𝗏, ISIS Khorasan, ISIS-K, Taliban, Hezbollah, Hamas. Everybody is in the business of jihad. Everybody is doing jihad for something or else. Trouble is, in Islamic world, when jihad stops, there is nothing else to do. So you might go after Hindus, you might go after minorities, you might go after Christians, you might go after people. But there's a time when you run out of targets. So when you run out of targets, you start eating each other up. That is a classical example of what is happening here. When you don't have any targets, you are targeting Sikhs, you are targeting Hindus, there are no Christians in Afghanistan. When you are done with everybody, so you have started up eating each other, because your people are only trained how to fire a gun. You're good at firing guns and doing bloody nothing else. That is what you know. What do you need to fight? A Pathan from Afghanistan needs a handful of dates, a few almonds, and a gun, and his bullets. He doesn't even need a bulletproof jacket. They don't value life. It's okay to die because there's a life after death. Now, this is the reality which I am trying to point out, and this is what. So, honestly, in all honesty, I don't see a chance wherein there's a militant form of Islam, or where the Islamic society and guns, it can ever be at peace. If you don't believe me, if you see my assessment is wrong, if you see what I'm saying is crap, it's all figment of my imagination, I'll request my editor Sachin Bhai to play a video of President Donald J. Trump, exactly see what he has to talk about Islam. Now, it is not me, it is the man, Donald J. Trump. You have to listen to this one clip, right? Sachin Bhai, I shared today on the group, that came. Okay, let me forward you again. Oh, maybe I have not. Okay.
While you do that, let me take over this one thing, Sumit.
Sure.
So viewers, second thing, The Hague, Netherlands. We had promised you on the 27th there were going to be a lot of protests across various cities in the world. We have some videos to share with you. Let's start by showing you the first video. Let me just start it up. We are getting other things. Thank you. Second one. One important information here, these are people from various countries. This was at The Hague. There's the International Court of Justice there. And this is a very important point because this is just the beginning of what is going to be a huge movement. This is not going to be easy for Mr. Yunus to just wish it away. The whole world is now getting involved in the protection of Hindus of Bangladesh. Just be patient, Hindus of Bangladesh. We are coming to help you. We are organizing now. We're educating. A lot more organizations are going to be there. The next one is going to be much, much bigger. Just stay tuned for that. Over to you, Sumit ji. We have the video loaded for Trump.
Let's talk about the video and let's see what Donald J. Trump thinks about it. One line.
Islam is at war with the West?
I think Islam hates us. There's something there there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
In Islam itself?
You're going to have to figure that out, okay? You'll get another Pulitzer, right? But you're going to have to figure that out. But there is a tremendous hatred. And we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very careful. And we can't allow people coming into this country who have this hatred of the United States.
I guess the question is...
And of people that are not Muslim.
I guess the question is there a war between the West and radical Islam, or is there a war between the West and Islam
itself?
It's
radical, but it's very hard to define. It's very hard to separate because you don't know who's...
You know, the point here is an old video. The point here is very simple. He says, is there a war between Islam and the radical? He says this is very difficult to distinguish who's radical, who's not. And I was talking to one of my friends. He says, what if I say only 50% people are radicalized, right? So that means should I get screwed 50 times to discover there's one person who's not radicalized? Or if it is, let's say 10:90, should I get screwed 90 times to find the one person who's not radicalized? So can world afford this kind of problem? The point here is very clear. You have to call it a day. Now these are Muslims killing Muslims because that is the best they are at, and that is how you have brought these jihadis up. And it's very difficult to now say who is radicalized, who is not radicalized, who is a radical, who is not. This is exactly what is happening in the whole world. Now that will explain you. Now look at from the context of Donald Trump. Look at what is happening in the world today. Join the dots and you get the answer. And that is why a lot of people have been asking me, why is Pakistan and Afghanistan fighting each other? This is the reason. It's the only thing today. There are around 1 million Afghanis who have taken a vow they will destroy Pakistan. You can imagine what is coming to go and hit Pakistan. Well, good luck, Pakistan. If you survive, we'll not be very happy. So that's about it. So let's move to the next topic. Now from here, let's move to China. Now in China, there's the Xinjiang province. And there is a part of India which is with China. Now China has just done a kind of a reorganization. It's a very, very hot news. It's happened around an hour back. In that reorganization, they are claiming they've made them as 2 counties, Xinjiang and 𝗥𝗙𝗃. Now, technically, 𝗥𝗙𝗃 is a part of India and it does not belong to China. And Xinjiang is again, which they have kind of occupied. They call it a semi-autonomous region. When it comes to 80% of China, they call it semi-autonomous region, but it is not. So New Delhi will be really, really watching out what is happening in Xinjiang, and we will not accept this 𝗥𝗙𝗃 to be formally designated as a county or as a part of the China, as a part of the reorganization, because this is our territory. By naming them or by giving them a Chinese name, it doesn't happen. You have tried this a lot of times by giving names in our cities in Arunachal and all. It doesn't happen. I think India should reciprocate by naming few cities and towns in that part of the China as our territory, because that is how it is going to happen. But China is again trying to play games. Now it has a big context. So hold your thoughts here. It has a connotation with the Middle East. It has a connotation with everything. Now here. So here, hold your frame here. Now what is happening? Why Pakistani program got banned, missile program? Because 3 reasons. Let me try to recollect fast. First, all the Pakistani missiles come from China. They are only painted and given a Pakistani name, Muslim name, right? That's point number one. Point number two, they were fearing Pakistan will be making ICBM. Not making ICBM, they're getting ICBM from China. Third, Pakistan's claim of MIRV technology is all farce. Chinese never gave them that. Fourth thing was that there might be long-range Chinese missiles which will land up in Pakistan, and now they might be kind of used from Pakistan. And there was one more biggest apprehension which they got. The biggest buyer of weapons today is 𝗤𝗎𝗎𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍 Julani wants weapons at any cost. And his minister, who is the new governor of Syria, who is Putin, he's a terrorist, has trimmed his beard and put in a suit and tie. He says, I want good relations with Israel. But he never told you till what date. You know, when I'm strong, I'll go and kill all the Jews. He missed saying that, but that's a typical ISIS terrorist. So now imagine if somehow this missiles reach Syria. From Syria, it can reach United States of America. So these are the 4 or 5 things which are going in the backdrop. Why did Americans come very, very heavy on Pakistan? Now, after Americans coming very heavy on them, still they went ahead and did this drama in Afghanistan that was to get the local people out. That was so that the local tension and defeat of Pakistani diplomacy. Though a lot of commentators have commented that it's a complete defeat of the Pakistani Ministry of External Affairs. So they wanted to reflect that tension. They went and did bombing in Afghanistan. So that's point number one. So you have to keep these 2 things in the background. Now, what is happening? Now, the person who has lost maximum, sir, there are 2 people. One is Iran. Iran has lost maximum. And the second body which has lost maximum in the whole game of Middle East is People's Republic of China. Now, you know, Iran has been trying to play games. Iran has been arming Houthis. Now, there are 2-3 things which are happening very clearly, which we discussed in the last hour episode, that Houthis can be only defeated if Israel takes the lead. Americans and, UAE, Saudis and UK have to follow them and let Israelis take the lead and destroy Houthis. Now, Israel has been doing that. Again, they attacked the Sana'a airport. They did a lot of things. A lot of things have been happening in the last 24 hours. But the fact remains, amidst that, even last 8 days, 5 missiles have landed in Israel. Up to yesterday, I think day before yesterday, the missiles which were fired were not being intercepted. But the missile which was fired yesterday night, for the first time got intercepted by a THAAD battery. So I was always saying that where is a THAAD and is THAAD being able to intercept it or not? In all possibility, it's some kind of a 𝗏𝗏𝗏 or a semi kind of a hypersonic missile. So THAAD batteries, we have a video evidence that THAAD batteries have intercepted the missile, which is very good news for Israelis, our friends. Now, when these things are coming, there are 2 or 3 things which are coming to the light. First, Houthis were given weapons by Iran. And second thing which is coming to the light is that Houthis were given enough ammunition, tons and tons of ammunition from People's Republic of China, right? Now, Iran and China were buddies supporting Yemen, Houthis supporting Bashar, and supporting all the Shia forces, including Hamas, Hezbollah, all the jihadi forces of Middle East. Now, today, Russians are out of the game and Israelis have taken the lead. Americans, all the Western powers, including some local powers of UAE and Saudi, have joined hands and they are trying to dismantle Houthis. Houthis are the biggest problem of the Middle East today. Now, when Houthis are getting destroyed, it is more and more evidence is coming of Chinese involvement in the game. Now, China used to get involved through Iran or at times directly with the Houthis. Now, with this Chinese involvement coming in the game, things are kind of, things are kind of changing here. And let me also try and tell you that China is trying to build the world's largest dam with an investment of $137 billion on Brahmaputra, just next to our Arunachal, wherein that dam can be a big military threat to us. If they let our flooding happen, when Bangladesh can be in problem. I'll complete the Houthi thoughts and then I'll hand over to you because I'll be left in between. Now the Chinese involvement is coming very clear, right? You have seen that. Now, what are Chinese trying to do? Now, suddenly, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 goes to China because he doesn't see the return of investment happening. Chinese are very happy. We have put so much of money on Houthis. They're not able to deliver the goods. Remember, Houthis never attacked a Chinese ship. Never, ever attacked a Chinese ship. Now, suddenly, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in China says, look, Middle East should not be a playing ground for Western powers. And you should leave the Middle East alone. You should leave the Middle East alone. Don't interfere here. Let the people of Middle East decide about the Middle East. Because the power of Iran is diminishing, the power of China is diminishing, when the power of Iran and China is diminishing, Chinese designs with Houthis are getting exposed. Now, Israelis, Americans, Britishers, and possibly UAE and Saudis are working together to dismantle Houthis. When the Chinese bluff is called up, suddenly 𝗑𝗏𝗍𝗶 and his good friend 𝗤𝗏𝗍𝗶 start talking, oh, okay, let's keep out of the Middle East. It's not they want you to keep out of the Middle East. They want you to keep, because they want you to keep out of the Middle East because their game is getting called out. And here, Americans have a very strong intel now. Push comes to shove, if there's a conflict with Iran, Pakistan will back Iran. The American intelligence has confirmed that Pakistan might or will back Iran. So that is one of the reasons of sanctions. So Pakistanis here are rattled. This is happening. The Iran is rattled and the China is going, crazy as to my return of investment is kind of doing down the drain. That is why they are saying, oh, let's let the Middle East not become a fighting ground for the global powers and the geopolitical interests of the world. But let me remind you, Mr. 𝗏𝗍𝗍, America never fights on its own soil. America has never fought a war on its own soil. So whenever Americans fight, they fight on somebody else's soil. So you have to choose between Iran, or maybe one day it will come that you have to fight Americans on Chinese soil. That day is not too far. But today you have to choose between Iran or Syria, wherever the fight will happen. It is going to happen. Nobody can stop it because Trump has clear two agendas. One is People's Republic of China, another is Islamic Republic of Iran. Now imagine when these are the two topmost agendas of the Trump, and these two gentlemen, I don't know what to call them, for the lack of better words I'm using the word gentlemen, these two baboons are meeting together and they're trying to say, oh, everybody should keep out of the Middle East so that your games and your tricks will continue in Middle East. And let me tell you, the biggest buyer of Iran's illegitimate sanctioned oil is People's Republic of China. Today, Iran, whatever is left in Iran is surviving because of Chinese money. Let that be noted. And here I want to make one more point, which is more important for you, people who are watching it all over the world. Friends, today, European Union is buying more gas from Gazprom, the Russian gas major, than China put together. So in Europe, you have 13% more gas sold by Gazprom, the biggest Russian government-owned entity, to European Union, even in December, as compared to People's Republic of China. I don't know what the hell is happening. This is how the things are joining. Then I'll take it further. I'll let one go to Sree sir. I wanted to just complete this section.
Yeah, can we have that map, please? Because we're going to show you, viewers, the map wherein the new dam is being planned on the Brahmaputra. So we'll just take, yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. Now, if you look at, oh, fantastic. This is the place, the MEA project, a proposed Chinese dam that could generate 60 gigawatts of electricity. Now, you see the Great Bend, right? You can see already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 dams. One completed, and the others are under construction, and some are under plan. These are all already in progress in China. Now, the latest one called MEA project is coming after the bend. You can see there just before it enters into Arunachal Pradesh. Now, one might wonder, what can India do? There you go. That's the Great Bend of Brahmaputra. Truly spectacular sight. And now, what can India do? Can we just scroll down this picture, please? So India, on its own, can also build a dam at Siang River, but that would be only 10 gigawatts as opposed to the 60 gigawatts that China is building. Although I should say that building a dam inside India is none of China's business, whereas building a dam in Tibet is everybody's business. Tibet is disputed territory. It's an autonomous region. And creating a new province in 𝗥𝗙𝗏. See, this is the thing about these rats. They will say that we are going to be friendly with you, all along planning something else. India should start, using Dalai Lama. Come on. It doesn't cost you a dime. Just tell them that the Buddhist community of Tibet will not accept anybody other than who the Dalai Lama himself chooses as his successor. Go pound sand. China will just get completely rattled and frazzled the moment you bring in Dalai Lama, talk about Tibet's independence, how China is an occupier there. Just watch what happens. These guys will completely go bonkers. That's what India needs to do. That's what I would do. I mean, it doesn't require you to put any forces anywhere. Just say that Dalai Lama is choosing his next successor, not China. That's it. So anyway, let's get back to our topic. We have a lot more things to do. I hope you guys have already liked our video, because like I said, we're doing constantly trying to improve our quality. And one of you asked for a map to get the proper perspective. While Tumiji was talking, I went and got this map, and I really thank Graphics News for doing that wonderful job on the map. So over to you again, Tumiji. We'll go to the next topic now.
So, the one thing which is good about PGurus is that everything happens here like this. Fatafat, fatafat, fatafat. And before you think it will be done, somebody would have pulled the map, somebody would have done this thing, and Mr. Iyer will be, it's here. What do you want? It's like this. I watched that Iron Man movie where he was just moving the files with a movement of hand. That's how exactly PGuru moves, fast. So Iron Man was fiction, but this is reality. So compliments to the team for the fantastic work, and Mr. Iyer as always. Now coming back to the topic. So this is where you're seeing the Trump say, you're seeing what is happening in Middle East. Now there's one more angle to it. Look, Trump has plans vis-a-vis China and Iran, and these people know what they are doing. So they are getting together. So what you are going to see in the near future, you will see some more theaters opened up by these two guys jointly. So you will see more disturbances happening. And unfortunately, Middle East is going to be the playing ground where a lot of disputes, geopolitical disputes, will get settled. And that's the reality of the world. You cannot change what is happening. Now, from there, we move to the next point. The next point is that Dr. Jaishankar has met the new NSA of Donald J. Trump, 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, and they are discussing something which is of grave national interest and India's interest and US's ambitions and interests in the region. Dr. Jaishankar also met the outgoing NSA Jack Sullivan and Anthony Blinken as well, the outgoing external affairs minister of the United States of America. Look, there were a lot of people who were asking me what is India doing there, what are our plans vis-a-vis Bangladesh. I told you, when Dr. Jaishankar is there from 24th to 29th, he's not going to celebrate Christmas there. Obviously, he has plans. Now, as a courtesy, he met Jack Sullivan, he met Joe Biden, but he has met 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, and he'll be doing some more engagements. Obviously, Bangladesh, China, and all those developments which are happening are being discussed. There is one big development which might happen in our neighborhood. We cannot talk about it. It's too much to talk right now. So if that happens, it will be in news of the millennium. So maybe that is on the agenda. So there are a lot of things which are on the agenda, which Dr. Jaishankar will be carrying. And let me tell you one thing today. I think I can share this today. If a lot of you people have this question, what is India doing in Bangladesh? What I can say, what we are doing in Bangladesh is what we have to do in Bangladesh. What we are supposed to do in Bangladesh, or what we have to do in Bangladesh, I can now vouch out and say we are doing that. So, but it's not a Hindi movie or an English Hollywood movie where in 1 hour, 25 minutes or 3 hours you will have the start to end. It takes time. Things happen at their pace. But whatever needs to be done, vis-a-vis all the options, I'm again saying vis-a-vis all the options, is being done, is being planned as we talk, and a lot of that work has been already completed. It's not we are in dark, it's not we don't know what is happening, we know what is happening, we are fully in control, and one day you will see things being done. So is that a part of Dr. Jaishankar's agenda to when he's meeting the NSA, and possibly I hear that he will also be possibly meeting Donald J. Trump. Is that a part of the agenda? Yes, that can be the part of the agenda. Usually Dr. Jaishankar doesn't spend so much of time in any country. If he's spending around good 6-7 days, that means there are a lot of things on his table, and there's a lot of things which are happening for the India and the interest of India. And Mr. 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a good guy, and he has been
Mike Waltz. His name is Mike Waltz.
Mike Waltz. He's a good guy, and he has been quite helpful to India. He's seen a pro-India guy, and is seen as a fellow which looks for Indian interests, which will irk Pakistan, which will irk China. That's a different issue altogether. And the external affairs minister of Trump, he's banned from entering China. So with these kind of a combination which is taking on the control, so trust me, a lot of things is going to happen, but you have to be patient. You don't expect everything to happen tomorrow morning. You don't have, okay, this is a Sunday night, what are you bringing to the table, Dr. Jaishankar? Well, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. It will happen at its due course of time. And don't forget, there are a lot of forces and fractions in play which are working against us. Even yesterday in Bangladesh, a new boat has arrived. which went to Chittagong from Karachi. I think 250 kgs of RDX and few hundred AK-47s were in that. It was discovered yesterday. So like these, even these smaller boats have started coming with RDX and AK-47s, and they were hidden in a haystack. There was a lot of hay sacks in the boat. It was a small boat, and inside those hay stacks you had RDX and guns. So it's not that Pakistan is not doing what it is supposed to do. The Pakistan is doing what it is supposed to do. But everybody is looking at the clock. The clock is ticking. The January 20th is coming near. So everybody knows they don't have a lot of time. From here, this is the update. This is what is available in the media. But if there's some big news which might happen, I never heard, but still too far off. But today we hinted you at something. Just hinted. When it will happen, then we will be able to connect the dots. But keep your horses, firm. The second thing will be
Sab Prabhu ki maya hai.
Prabhu ki maya, kahi dhoop, kahi chaya. From warm, we move to the second thing is Donald J. Putin. Now Putin is selling more gas to European Union than China. Putin is sending more oil to China than India is buying more oil from Putin than China. America is buying all the more uranium from Putin than anybody else in the world. This is happening as we talk. Well, as Putin has when this incident happened, this Azerbaijan thing, and the Azerbaijani aircraft, what happened is a very simple story. I'll narrate it in 2 minutes too. There's an aircraft which starts from Baku and has to go to Grozny. Grozny is a province in the part of Russia, Chechnya. Now, when it lands, it's that Embraer jet, I think a propeller based or non-propeller based Embraer jet. It was carrying around 80 people inside it. When it reaches Grozny, it's a lot of fog. So they tell him, sorry, you cannot land, you have to go back. Now, when he is turning back, when he's over the Caspian Sea, now suddenly something is believed has hit the plane, and then it moves to Kazakhstan, asks for an emergency landing approval. Kazakhs give the emergency landing approval. The plane is run by Azerbaijan Airlines, and Azerbaijan and Russia don't go hand in hand well. Because of this Nagorno-Karabakh issue, because Azerbaijan are Armenian conflict, where Russians support Armenia and Erdogan supports Azerbaijan. Now this is where the things happen. Now when the plane lands, unfortunately it crashes. 39 people die and 28 people get injured. So majority of the people in the plane have unfortunately lost their lives, and balance of them get seriously injured. That is what has happened. Now that is 2 days back. Now yesterday, first Azerbaijani Airlines said that the crash happened due to an external physical interference. So external means it has nothing to do with the plane. Physical is something as a kinetic interference. Now you can interpret it as a bird, you can interpret it anything as else, but they said it happened. Now, one day, I think last night, the Azerbaijani Minister of External Affairs, or the Minister of Defense, one of the two, said, look, there was possibly a Russian rocket hit which happened, and which possibly hit the plane, and that is why the plane crashed. Now, Russians have been initially saying we'll investigate into it and we'll see what happened. But the news is that, yesterday, I've seen some, I've read some accounts where the people said we were over the Caspian Sea. Suddenly something hits us. There was a loud bang, and then the plane started behaving as if it is drunk, and plane tried to land and it crashed. But my knowledge tells me if plane is hit by a surface-to-air missile, the plane will be blown to pieces. The huge fire will emerge. There's enough of fuel in the flame which will burn it, and the place will fall in pieces. Usually when planes get hit, they don't land. That is a normal thing. So we don't know what it is. But what Vladimir Putin has said, he has apologized for the accident, but he has not said it was a Russian missile or it was a Russian artillery or it was anything to do with Russia which hit the plane. So we don't know where it is. So he has apologized for the accident. He said in that region there was a Russian firing happening on because of the Ukrainian drone attack. So we are trying to deflect Ukrainian drones. Something might have happened, but he does not say that this is what has happened. This is how the Russian, the Azerbaijani plane got hit. And you have to also know there's a conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia, the Nagorno-Karabakh area. Now, Armenia is supported by Russia and Azerbaijan is supported by Turkey. Last time, Azerbaijan had an upper hand because of the Turkish Bakhtiar drone. Now, this time we have given a lot of missiles, a lot of Pinakas. They wanted a lot of Pinaka launchers and all from India. We have given them. Russians have given them a lot of weapons. And Armenia is a part of a CSO alliance, which the Russia runs in the region. So there is already there's not a lot of good relation between Azerbaijan and Russia. And by the way, if you remember, a few months back, Azerbaijani president was in Pakistan, and they were all talking about Islamic Biradar, Chumma, and all those things were being talked. So this is how things are happening. Now, you might see, due to this incident or accident, or due to this unfortunate accident, you might see that Armenia, Azerbaijan things flare up. You might see that Russians getting one more, one more dart on their back. And suddenly, the Azerbaijan airline says that all the Russian cities are not safe, so will not fly in planes there. The problem here is that if one country decides so, a lot of other countries may follow suit. If Azerbaijan thinks, I am not going to fly my planes there, the other may say, oh, I am not also going to, I'm not also going to fly there. Because at the end of the day, amidst the sanctions and all, still the Russian economy is not doing too bad. Russia has come back to the wealthy countries as per the per capita income and all. So that is what is irking a lot of people. So in geopolitics, even incidents and accidents can become a geopolitical, geopolitical plot, and a lot of things can be started or ended because of that. Now, was it a bird hit? Was it a Russian missile hit? We don't know. But in 2004, there was definitely a plane of Malaysian Airlines which was in the sky, and in 2014, it got hit by a rebel group which was pro-Russia. They fired a surface-to-air missile which hit the plane, but that time it was a very clear crash. It hit the plane, it was broken, everything fell down. So how did it land and how did it go? Again, there's a lot of mystery. Some people claim it's a bird hit. Some people claim it's a Russian missile. We don't know what it is, but Putin has kind of apologized for it. And one thing you must note, in geopolitics is always a reason. Why did this happen yesterday? Anybody making a guess? Why did it happen yesterday? Just put your comments. We still have a few minutes before Sree sir, boots me out. We still have a few minutes before he loses his patience. Can somebody put a comment? Why did it happen yesterday? ऐसा क्या हुआ कल कि इनको ये कहना पड़ा? Why did this suddenly story, caught up fire yesterday? What happened? I'm waiting for another 20-30 seconds. It's a very simple thing. Why did it happen yesterday? Oh, okay. Pakistan army believed to be directly fighting in Azerbaijan against. Oh, that's always Pakistani armies always fights. They are a gun on hire. You can hire them also. They can do your toilet cleaning. If you can pay them well, ask them to do the toilet. They're very good at that. Huh? They shine the toilets of Arabs the best. Arabs don't use a better clean than the Pakistan army to shine their shit pots. So, but the shit pots are of gold. Huh? Pakistan army is a standard. Only gold or gold-plated shit pots they will clean. And if you don't have toilet brushes, no need. I can pull off my shirt. Good. They're good. Okay. Keeping the pun aside, let me come back to the look. Yesterday morning, that was our night, because we are on the different time zone. Putin announced that I am ready to do negotiations on ceasefire in a neutral NATO country. I think Slovakia or something he suggested. Just 2 or 3 hours after that, the plane story started rolling off. If you watch the things carefully, before that Putin's announcement, I'm ready for a ceasefire, even in a NATO country, I'm ready to come. It has to be a neutral NATO country like Slovakia and all. I'll go there and we'll do negotiations, whichever. Remember that Trump's Middle East envoy is there. Trump's envoy is trying hard to settle the things, while in Middle East, we're hearing that we might not be so lucky that before Trump comes to the Trump to the chair, we might not have a hostage deal, because where the problem is. In the Middle East, Hamas is not giving the hostage names, because I don't know how many hostages are still alive. Are any hostages alive, or they have slaughtered them all? With these Islamic jihadis, everything is possible. These people have been even accused of necrophilia. The people who are accused of necrophilia, don't forget, in Pakistan, we have showed you an incident wherein when a young girl dies, they put an iron gate on the grave and put a lock there. Because there's somebody who might dig the grave and try to have sex with the corpse. That happens in Pakistan. Sachin bhai, if you have a picture somewhere, if you can show, that will really add to what I'm saying. So with these Islamic jihadis who can even do necrophilia, though these things are not unforeseen. So coming back to what we have been saying, so with Trump saying that, look, I'm ready to do a negotiation, I'm ready to stop the war. Then suddenly this thing erupts, then the plane drama happens. They say, oh, Russians hit it. Russians teaser not say Putin is a butcher, Putin is this. So you don't know what is happening there. So maybe Putin is just, trying to push down the flames by saying, okay, I apologize for the accident, but not the incident. It is not me, but I apologize. Whatever happened is not good. So you don't know what is happening. There are a lot of conflicting forces at work. And in the meanwhile, Chinese and Iranis are talking of everybody should get out of the Middle East so that Iran and China can have a playground. China can angle all its arrows in Middle East through Iran and dominate. Well, 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍, you seem to be born yesterday, or you're too amateur in the diplomacy. I don't think you understand the world beyond China and Hakka noodles. That is why you are giving such immature statements, and you believe the world will just listen to a statement and say, 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍, what guys, I'm going to walk out of the Middle East. Let 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍 and 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍 cook the curry, cook the noodles with hot Szechuan soup. Is that what you think the world will do? No, it's not going to happen. So hold your horses. Now, it's a very interesting thing which I was trying to tell you. So these are the two complete things which have happened here. So we'll see how the things are going to shape up. After Putin's statement on going to Slovakia and trying to negotiate a ceasefire, Putin's Middle East envoy there, Hamas not giving the list. Hamas might have slaughtered these hostages. There's a possibility they are not still giving the list. So let's see how it happens. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia corridor and other corridors, the IDF has first time put a temporary base. Temporary but permanent. It's temporary in nature but permanent in stature. That is what IDF calls it. Temporary in nature but permanent in stature. So for the first time, these two important corridors will be completely end-to-end controlled by IDF. So congratulations to Israelis and IDF on that. So this is the time, all the time we have for. I would love to talk more. I have so many things to talk about, but this is what it is. If Sachin Bhai could have found that picture of Pakistanis having their graves of young.
That one is a bit of a, it's actually originally from Hyderabad. We don't know which Hyderabad, Sindh or Deccan. So we'll wait till we get some more confirmation. In the meantime, we should get started with the questions, Sumitji. Let's start with the questions. First one is Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskar, Trump calling out is an honest and brave act. But can you do anything about the deterioration setting in Europe? Can Europe recover at all?
Ranga said Trump has been very clearly saying that whatever is happening in Europe is unacceptable. He's clearly talking about what I have been very vocal about. So Trump spoke about it 2-3 months back. Haven't I been saying the biggest threat of Europe is Islamization? And Trump exactly said the same. Even only the choice of words were different. He said, what's happening in France? What is happening here? He said, and he's very clear that Islamization is the biggest threat to Europe. It is not what Trump can do. Trump can protect his borders. It's for the European people to wake up and smell coffee. You have Sajid Khan as the mayor of London. Good luck to you. I mean, what more can I say? Sajid Mia as the mayor of the London. Wow, Pakistani is the mayor of the. You don't know what his uncle is. By the way, a lot of these Pakistani elite gentlemen, their uncle might be a ISIS Khorasan fighter or a butcher or a flesh trade supplier. You don't know who they are. I mean, with Pakistanis, anything is possible. Maybe there was those professional ISIS grave diggers. Who knows they are? You know who is the Chacha, who is Mama, who is Phufa, who is Mosi. And the another problem is Chacha can become Mama, Mama can become Mosi, Mosi can become Phufa. That intermingling of marriages. After 3 generations, you will fail to know who is whom and how I am related to whom. How is my Mama being my Bhanja and my Bhanja being my Bhatija? So that is how it works. But that is what to do.
Wants to know, sir, Shah has stated that all BJP ruled states will implement UCC. They could be done with the same formulas also. Don't know why they took it back. That is real masterstroke by BJP.
I think UCC is the need of the hour. BJP ruled states should kind of do it. But the challenge here is, Manojji, if it is done at a state level, if tomorrow the government changes, they will have the right to repeal it. Let's say tomorrow Congress government comes, they say will not follow UCC. But if it is done at the central level, if it is enforced by the parliament, then even if the state government changes, you don't have the right to repeal it. That is the only difference. And the politics today is tough. And even today in TV debates, there was a lot of debate about why Manmohan Singh ji was not given the memorial and Rahul Gandhi tweeting about it. But the fact remains, when Dr. Manmohan Singh passed away, same night, the letter was sent to the Congress party and his family that we are planning for a memorial for Dr. Saab. Do we have your approval for that or not? Admits that Rahul Gandhi tried to create all the ruckus today. And it's how politics works.
𝗤𝗍𝗏𝗏 wants to know, will Afghan occupation help India's claim to get back POK?
Look, there is no good jihadi, there is no bad jihadi. There is no good terrorist, there is no bad terrorist. Terrorists are terrorists. Whatever they say and believe and all will be temporary. You have to keep your gunpowder dry, and it's better not to trust any of them. Look, any day, there have been good buddies of Pakistan for 40 years. And there's a saying, 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗏. So they can any day go back and, warm up again. So it won't take a lot of while. And Sirajuddin Haqqani is still the ISI guy. Let's not forget that. That remains a reality. I was on a TV debate yesterday, sir, in a Hindi channel. There's a Pakistani guy who was saying, I said, what is your interest in Afghanistan? Oh, they are our Islamic brother. One line answer. Islamic brother. Khatam. Over.
Next one, please. Arun Vijay Raghavan wants to know, Sirji, what's happening with extreme right fringe targeting Indian Americans? Do you think Trump will do what's right?
Trump has to do what is right. And I think we as Indian American community and all, we have to get our priorities right. It can't be only about getting the next H1B visa, getting an extension or getting my green card faster. You have to think things beyond that. If you want to make America as your homeland, you have to think in the long-term strategic interest of the country and yourself, and see a point where both the merges. It can't be my interest. Our tendency is it's always my interest, my gains, my way, my day, and the rest all go to G to H. It doesn't work like that. So I think there's a calibration which is needed from the both sides.
Next one, please. SN Khan wants to know whether Taliban is deploying Badri 313 in this battle.
I have heard about this, but there's no proof which is available till date. And the news I have that Afghani Taliban have almost got everything which America's left right and moving, except the helicopters and the flying machines. Rest, pretty much everything they've got under control.
Hriday Sharma wants to know, Maratha chief of Indore Malhar Rao Holkar invaded Afghanistan to avenge Third Battle of Panipat, defeated them and brought back Somnath temple's gates, now installed in Mahakal temple Ujjain.
It is true, and let me tell you another incident when you have brought this up. So what you are saying is true. Maharaja Ranjit Singh defeated them, Hari Singh Nalwaji defeated them. Afghans wear this salwar. Salwar, it looks like a lady's pajama for typical what we wear in North, is firak and salwar, right? Yes. Now, because Hari Singh Nalwaji told them, because you have been defeated, I'm giving you this lady's pajama to wear so that you always remember who defeated you. That is, so the salwar became a part of their dress. When you look at the pajama of the kurta, is straight. It's not like the typical salwar. It's because where it came from. Second thing, there's even one thing I want to tell you. A lot of people will not know. In Afghanistan, this 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗔𝗠𝗏𝗏, he was kept as a captive there. Maharaja 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 Chauhan, right? He was kept as a captive there. So when he was kept as a captive there, he killed the Muhammad of Ghazni. He killed him with the arrow. Now, what did they do? They they cremated. They made the tomb of the king, their king, and while entering the tomb, they cremated 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 Chauhan there, and they made sure that everybody who passes through puts a feet on that land, then goes to the grave. So they just buried his remains on the doorway, in a way, doorway to the tomb. Now there is one gentleman. His name is, I think, if I'm getting it right, Sher Singh Rana. Now this Sher Singh Rana was in a prison in India. Sher Singh Rana managed to flee the prison. He went to Afghanistan. He went to that place, dig up the whole thing, got the whatever were the remains of the body of Maharaja back, and gave them a cremation as per Hindu rites in India, and surrendered back to the authorities. So even we have heroes like that, and this I'm talking in the present. It's not some few hundred years back. So this is what we have done. It's not we have not done, we have done. But a lot of our history was not written. A lot of our history was taken away from them. We were all given these false notions, Akbar the Great and Shah Jahan the Great, and what all, BS was written there. But if you talk of the real history, even Sher Singh Rana is a existing character. You can Google about him and find about him. And he got the remains of Maharaj Prithviraj Chauhan back. And today or yesterday, next to Pagyongso Lake, we have the great big statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj unveiled there. So on the banks of Lake Pagyongso. So these things are happening, but unfortunately, they don't get a lot of media attention. A lot of things are not covered. But what you said, Hitesh Sharma ji, is right. What I said, I have two more things I want to add, because the sentiment was like that. So मैं भी दो बात बोल देता हूँ, so that we feel more happy about our heroes.
Thank you, Subhash, for becoming member. Thank you, Peter Ramkishan, for your super sticker. Jaipuri Shankaracharya wants to know, now new things have developed. Any predictions for 2025?
2025 is more volatile than I can think. And now geopolitics is changing faster than the politics. You don't know what is going to happen in the next 24 hours, honestly. If somebody says I can predict 2025, I don't know where he or she gets those ideas from, because if I look at the situations on the ground, anything can happen. Anything. You just need one idiot to jump the gun. Huh? You just need one idiot to jump the gun. Who could have thought, Pakistan will go and bomb Afghanistan? I think last year, this year, March, April, I told you in June, July, or July, August, they will have a first skirmish between Pakistan and Afghanistan. They will get into full-fledged war. I was on PGurus channel, and Sree Sir, your competitor channel, one of your major competitor channel, was there. And everybody was, are you sure? Is it going to happen?
Friendly competitor.
Friendly. So is it sure that the people will get where I'm referring to? Then are you sure it's going to happen? Pakistan and Afghanistan will be what? I got June, July, they will have the first kind of a acha khasa. Then eventually they will get into war. Now look, it is December. They have got into the war. So likewise, things are changing so fast. There are few people who are holding the world's peace by threads. And there are few people who are holding big tongs to cut those threads. And don't forget one of them, Barakat Hussain Mia Obama, live, kicking and surviving.
Next one, please. Manofsan wants to know, will Israelis convince Trump to defang Iran regime in a war? Or can Israel directly destroy Iran's nuclear infrastructure now that Syrian armed forces are dismantled and no longer an obstacle?
Manofsan ji, there are two schools of thought to it. Today, the Shah's son, who lives in US, I think Virginia somewhere, he has requested Donald J. Trump that why don't you dismiss this regime? That is why Abachi was also running to China. Why don't you dismantle this regime and let the democracy come, and we are ready to get democracy back into Iran. That is Shah's son, the so-called the Prince of Iran, technically. Now, if you look at there are three possible options which are being discussed here, which we discussed last time. One option is that let Israelis do the job, Americans back them up. Second thing is Americans they will themselves go and do the job, so that everybody's like this. Because Russia is out of the region. You wanted Russians to be out, they're out of. They don't give a shit to Chinese. Third thing is give Israel those UL-15s, the ultimate bunker busters. It will send a very clear message to Iran. We can take your nuclear arsenal out and we can take Khomeini out. Be in your awqat, otherwise the hell will break loose. So these are the three options which are being contemplated. Depending on how the things turn up, any of the three can be used.
Next one, please. Jagdish Bose wants to know, what about MAGA versus Indian-American civil war inside Trump's administration? No, I don't think there's anything war. See, people are trying to pull down every nominee. This happens, okay? Just let it go. Just ignore it for now. Next question, please. Tiger Hawk wants to know, what impact will Trump have on the Khalistani forces in US and Canada?
I think Trump is not going to take that nonsense. Trump wants to have a very good relation with India, which he must have if he wants to tackle People's Republic of China. Trump is not going to have good relations with Pakistan, but he will use Pakistan as a bit of a dominant leverage against India. And I think when it comes to India's interest, you have to handle this menace. The kind of long rope they have been getting under Biden administration, I don't think they will have that privilege and that long rope again.
Thank you so much. And now let's get Ashirwad from Mahadev before signing off.
Sure. And I think I have to tell all our viewers, you have to like, share and subscribe and kind of help us to grow our channel and our vichar. Let it reach to all the people. The only way to do it is you have to press the like button and you have to send this video on your WhatsApp groups and your Facebook or wherever you are and put a note, kindly do read it. On that note and assurance, you're going to help us, and always your love and blessings matter to us and the world to us. I'll be meeting you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. We'll be discussing China, a lot of things happening in China, including the 6th generation fighter and all. So we'll be talking that about tomorrow. On that note, Bharat Mata ki jai, Vande Mataram, and Har 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 Mahadev.
Mahadev.